Hello all of you. As you see in the first few seconds, we'll be showing off some minerals today. I've been kind of saving this video for a little bit because I had made a few purchases that I wanted to include into the video, and I wanted to make sure everything had arrived and got here in one piece. Just to get an idea of like what I could show off, I am gonna show you close to 30 pieces. It's just an approximation, and I wanted somewhere around there for this video. This is Kevin with Imagination Hobbies, also known as Minerals of Moria on Instagram, all one word. And I was going to go ahead and show you what's in my personal collection for minerals as far as small cabinet size goes. And this is going to range anywhere from just above a miniature all the way up to just above a large cabinet piece. And the size range here is anything over 2 inches and under 5 inches, everywhere in between there. And I'm going by the TGMS standard of kind of sizing. I'm just going to throw something down here so I'm not talking at nothing. But I'm going to go through quite a bit of minerals. I got this little spinny thing, and I'll be able to show them off hopefully pretty well that way. Wonder if I can do with the lighting. I don't know what looks better, like the light right on it or not, but we'll just go with it. Kind of an impromptu video, but I did get a chance to pull out my airbrush and dust everything off, just using the air blast on it, and dust the bases off a bit. So hopefully it won't be as like dusty as some of my other videos. But I guess we'll just start here just because I already have this on here. Most people on the East Coast would judge something like this as a miniature. And I think that's probably a little, I don't know, more accurate. But old-timer collectors on the East Coast would definitely be calling a lot of these a miniature. This is an apophyllite from Maharashtra, India. It is a clear to pink, might even be green. It's very clear, so it's hard to tell. The heulandite is pink, which is making the apophyllite appear pink. This is the apophyllite right here. This is a small cabinet piece. I would say this is about 7 to 8 centimeters across to the whole matrix, and the crystal is about 3 centimeters. And that's a pretty nice piece. This one I acquired really early on in my collecting. And my focuses are thumbnails and small cabinet pieces. Now, small cabinet pieces are kind of tough because the size range is all over the place. So if you're displaying on the East Coast versus the West Coast, you definitely have different kind of regulations. If you're doing a competition, especially. But at the Tucson show in Arizona, you're trying to get closer to 5 inches. But whatever, that's enough blabbering. Here is a really cool rhodochrosite from Peru. It's got beautiful quartz, like cresting the top of it. You can see a little bit of iron oxide staining quartz on the back. Ignore all these cubes and this putty and stuff. That's not permanent. I just have it propped up on there just to kind of show you a better display angle. But yeah, this one is from Peru, Ancash, Peru. And don't try to get me to say the rest of that because I won't be able to. But this is a rhodochrosite with quartz on top. That piece is similar size to the last one, maybe about 6 centimeters. I try to go in somewhat of an order here because they're off screen, so I'm just trying to grab them with one hand and try to keep focus with the other. I have to float my camera because I do not have a setup to latch it to this. I'm inside of my airbrush booth, and I just put like a black liner in here to try to make it more presentable. But this is a Sweetwater mine calcite with some chalcopyrite And this thing's pretty cool. I like the shape of it. It's very symmetrical. And that is from Missouri, I believe. That's a cool piece. That rhodochrosite is really a really nice one that I just showed you a second ago. I don't know that it would compete well, because when you compete, you have to pick one mineral, and that's kind of the focus. And the rhodochrosite isn't extremely good, and the quartz isn't extremely good, but the combination and the aesthetics are really good. So it probably would not score well in a competition, but it's okay. I don't plan on competing probably in the small cabinet category. This is my newest acquisition. This one is killer. This is a new fluorite ball from Wuyi ore fields, probably in Wuyi County, China. Now, there was another location that was very close by that seemed to produce similar material. I don't know if they just don't know the locality, if it's Wuyi or Yiwu. They are actually two different places, even though they're using the same letters and sound similar. They are only about a mile or two away. This is a crazy fluorite ball on quartz matrix, but really what this is like, there's generations of fluorite down here. So you have purple fluorite and green fluorite, and there's different phantoms going on there. And then there was a coating of quartz that occurred, and then like a third stage or fourth stage of fluorite, which is what this big yellow ball is. And this is a really unusual habit for fluorite. You kind of find it in India, but India is more of just like a very matte colored ball, whereas this is exquisite luster and like a lot more pronounced crystallization. You can kind of see all the little faces. And I think this is an octahedral presentation, even though it's a ball. It's typically botryoidal, but I think each one of those crystals kind of has a triangle thing going on. I could be wrong. If I'm wrong, just correct me in the comments. This is new material, so but this piece is pretty exquisite. This is about 6 to 7 centimeters on matrix, probably about 5 centimeter ball of fluorite from China. Now that piece, depending on where you showed it, I think if you showed it on the East Coast, it would be a really high-end kind of competition piece. Since in Tucson you can get up to 5 inches, I don't know that piece would score as one of the best in the world. But anyways, I digress. Let me move this for a second, because I'm going to show you what a full 5-inch piece looks like. This is a monster. This is a really nice apophyllite from Jalgaon district in Maharashtra, India. And it's got, the apophyllite is the green. The stilbite is that cream colored crystal matrix. And this habit for apophyllite is very specific to Jalgaon as far as size goes. These big towering green crystals. Now there is one that I believe is cleaved. The corner is, or the tip is cleaved off, but I mean, for the size and quality, this thing is one of the best I've seen in small cabinet. This is approaching large cabinet. But there's the label. And I hope this is translating well through the screen and the lighting. But that would be like a full small cabinet piece, which is really huge. I don't know why out here in Tucson they go so big with the categories. Let's stick to the theme of getting some of these big ones out of the way. Let's just get this one real quick. This is a Huebnerite. Not super massive, but super cool in my opinion. This is a, I believe, Russian Huebnerite. if I remember right. Maybe it's Bulgaria, but I think it's Russia. It's got really cool quartz like coming out of the side of the crystal. Like if you look inside, it's pretty neat when you just see like all the pockets of quartz. And something kind of eroded this because there's actually a hole that passes all the way through the Huebnerite. So something kind of ate away at it wherever it was in the pocket, which kind of gives it a cool look. I don't really know how this would score. I know this is a huge Huebnerite crystal though. It's like over 4 inches tall. So they're kind of hard to find in that size now. Yeah, not sure if that's like a competition, but it's pretty cool. It's not red like some Huebnerites are, like a blackish gem red kind of color. And that just depends how much I think oxygen and air and light exposure it has, I believe. So here's a really nice pyrite from Bulgaria. This looks Peruvian, but I mean it was marked as Bulgaria, and I did see other material that was kind of similar. It came from a reputable dealer, so I've left it as Bulgaria. It's a really killer piece. This quartz, really cool. It almost looks like it has a little bit of green chloride in it or something, and it's very spiny and spiky. If you hear a dog whine, that is my dog at my door who hears me talking about minerals, and he wants to join, but he can't. So this piece is about 4.5. I think this base is 4 inches actually. This is a 4-inch piece. And it's just super lustrous, super shiny. I really like the twists in these cubes, how it gives that optical illusion of like being twisted around, but really it's just the geometry that does that illusion. But it's pretty cool. I like it. All right, let's go on to the next one. All right, we're gonna go with not super big, but I'm gonna go with something that definitely isn't competition level, but I really liked it just for the aesthetics of having this big crack seam that like runs through the matrix. This is apophyllite, these little green bushels. The peach color is heulandite, and the white crystals are stilbite. They're all pretty intact. I think the only necessarily damage would be like down here, but this is from Maharashtra, India, but this is from Vijaypur. It's kind of a different area with a different habit of apophyllite. Really cool, just almost like a 360 piece. You can kind of see that they're almost like double terminated flowers. And yeah, that piece was like kind of cool. Always liked that one. Not anything too crazy. This stilbite, I think, is probably a competitive level stilbite, which is surprising because there's so many stilbites. This is from Aurangabad in Maharashtra, India as well. A lot of times they'll call these stellarites. Typically they'll call it stellarite when you start seeing this kind of bumpy habit on the back. It's kind of indistinguishable to determine 100%. Unless you're like you've seen a lot of that material. This was advertised as stellarite. I believe it's stilbite though. But it is a really big bow tie. This thing is 4.5 inches tall, I would say. Presents very well. Kind of like a 360 view to it a bit. It's just very architectural, sculptural. And I think I would compete with that and put that up against quote unquote the best in the world, because that's kind of how they grade these things. I'm not saying any of my minerals are the best in the world, but that's kind of their grading rubric, is what the best they've ever seen. So here's a huge calcite. Again, this is almost 5 inches. This thing is cool. You get really big poker chips. This is called, also known as a poker chip. Calcite from Shenzhou, Prefecture in China, Hunan, China. It's got some really cool angles. So like if you go like that, you can kind of, oh, maybe it's the other way. Nope, it's that way. Kind of cool. Like looks like a bunch of stacked spaceships or something. What's really cool is it's got this galenihedral, I believe that's how you say it, calcite like growing up through and poking out the top. And that's kind of what all these saucer calcites like nucleated on to some degree. So you kind of have two habits happening. It's very odd. Like you could see it poking out the top. I'm not really sure what causes that at all. But I mean, it's cool to see that on the back of it. And it looks really neat from like several different angles. I like that angle a lot. It's just very sculptural like that. Now this has a couple dings on it and stuff. It's not gem like clear. Not a lot of Chinese calcites are. But if you put this against like some of the larger American calcites that are more gemmy, I don't know that it would beat it out, but it is a really nice piece. I would compete with it just to see what kind of score I got, but not certain. Speaking of American calcites, let's just show you like an Elmwood mine calcite. This one's a little smaller. It's about 3 inches tall, 3 inches wide, effectively. It's from Tennessee in the United States. Really cool. I can't remember what they call this habit. It has a trade name. It's got those terminations on both ends, just really sharp going across side to side. This one's really lustrous, really golden. It has a little bit of nicks maybe here and there, but like it's pretty clean. It does have a sphalerite on the back, which is kind of cool. Displays from either side. I like that. I would compete with this. I think there's bigger, like some of the same quality but bigger. But I think as far as quality goes, it's really like high end. Really nice piece. Yeah, so that's an Elmwood calcite. Let's go to one of the small cabinets I have. Most people just call this a miniature. Just a little over 2 inches. It's a blue barite from Morocco, in Nador, Morocco. These things are getting really hard to find. This is a cool blue wave of barite. And you see there is a broken crystal in the back. A little bit of a break on the tip here, but 99.99% of all the material that came out of this find was broken or damaged in some way. So it's just really cool. It just has like a cool sculptural wave. It looks like it has some motion to it. That's a pretty neat little piece. What else we got? We got the ice cream man. I don't know if you heard that. What else do we have? We got this amethyst from Veracruz. Really nice piece. Just crystals just jutting everywhere. Now they found some of this on calcite too, which is pretty neat. I didn't score one of those. I missed out on one. I did not have $1,200 to buy the one that I wanted at the time. But this one's pretty dope. So we got a quartz, which is an amethyst variety of quartz, and it is from Veracruz, Mexico. Kind of give you a little spin around. And really, it's almost 100% undamaged. To the visuals, you can't tell if there's any damage on it, really, unless you're looking right there. There's one crystal that might have broke at some stage right there, the little tiny thing. Other than that, though, it's pretty perfect. It could be a little darker if you were to match it up against other Veracruz amethysts of the best in the world. But it is a pretty formidable piece. I like that piece. It comes in at close to 3.5 inches at its largest angles. Here's kind of a newer piece that I got. I'm going to put this little thing back on here. The newer piece I got. Really like it. it is actually a Namibian amethyst from Orongo, Namibia, from the Gaboboseb Mountains area, Brandberg area. These are amethysts, but they have reverse sceptering happening. Super exquisite piece. This is about 2.5 to 3 inches wide. So many unbroken, undamaged reverse scepters on this piece. I feel so lucky that I was able to get this, as well as that fluorite from earlier. That's the yellow ball. Very lucky to get those pieces because they're very high quality. I don't really know how that would do in competition. I'm not really sure how they grade multiple small scepters, but this is the fluorite I'm really lucky to have gotten recently. But okay, let's go on to something else. Let's go to an azurite. Now this is a famous mine, Milpias mine in Sonora, Mexico. Now you can kind of see how gemmy blue some of these are. They're like blue sapphires. I'm gonna hold this up to the light and show you how crazy this blue gets. Yeah, so they're almost like sapphires, but it's azurite with like a sapphire blue color, and you get the high contrast from being on that matrix, which is another mineral called dicite. And that's a really nice piece. I was able to score this piece. These are almost impossible to find without spending an arm and a leg. And so I scored on that. Really cool azurite piece. I'm going to pause it. I need to shift a couple things around, and I'll be right back with the rest. Yeah, so that piece is probably 6-7 centimeters across, and crystals up to 2.1, 2.2 centimeters. Let's go back to Jalgaon, India. Here is one of the first times I saw this habit of apophyllite. Really cool tower, green tower of apophyllite. Just a very cathedral look to it. And it's flanked by these two stilbites, which I think, to me, it's like, for me, like a little perfect small cabinet piece, even though it's probably about 2.5, 3 inches, 2.5 to not even 3 inches tall. But I really liked it. I scored on that a long time ago when they first made the find, I believe. And I got that for a really good deal. Hopefully I don't show you guys the same thing twice. I'm just got kind of mismatched here a little bit, but here is a scheelite. This is almost a miniature. It might pass for like a miniature even in Tucson terms, but it is, I believe, slightly over 2 inches, so I'm going to call it a small cabinet. It is from Sichuan, China. It's got some mica on it, and it is a very like lustrous, almost gemmy scheelite, octahedral shape. Pretty cool looking. I just figured I'd throw that in here. I don't know if I put it in my miniature video or not. Next up's another kind of recent acquisition. This is an Indian amethyst flower. It's got rutile inside of it. That's why it might look a little sandy, but that's just the internal rutile when you're looking through the crystals. And so if it looks a little grainy, that's why. It's got hair-like rutile inside of the crystals. This is from Karrar, India. This is the biggest flower and probably the best flower I've seen yet from Karrar, India. I like the back profile, how you can kind of see like just the amethyst crystals and scepters shooting off the core of the matrix wherever it nucleated, and you can kind of see up in there. Some of these are even almost like double terminated, going back towards the center of the piece. I will see if I can get the rutile to show. Yeah, so you can see it looks kind of reddish and brownish, and that's because there's rutile crystals inside of these amethyst crystals. So it looks dusty. It's not dusty. It's just the way that the internal of the crystal is. Really cool piece. That one's probably about 2.5 inches tall. Maybe, I know I keep mixing centimeters and inches, sorry. 2.5 centimeters to an inch, if that helps any of you. But it's like 1.5 inches, 1.75 inches wide. So like, yeah, 4 or 5 centimeters wide, something like that. All right, let's go with another kind of larger one. This is a copper, really cool copper from Australia. It's from Queensland, Australia, from the Rocklands mine. And it is very, to me, aesthetic, sculptural, just everywhere. It's just going everywhere. I like that it connects in multiple locations of the matrix. It gives it strength and stability so it doesn't, bend or like break off. And it presents very well. I got a really good deal on this. It has a patina on it. It's just a natural patina. I could clean it up and it would be like a shiny penny, but I don't believe that's the appropriate thing to do in this circumstance. I think the patina kind of shows you that it's a natural ore, and it's just been broken out of this this matrix. It's kind of crumbly. I mean, it's still hard and tough rock, but I think what happened is just kind of smashed it, and it just kind of broke away and left the copper in its natural formation. So that one's super cool. That one's about 4 to 4.5 inches tall. I like that. I don't know how it would score, but I really like it. Let's go with the next one. And we're going to go with this quartz. And this quartz is from Jinlong Mine in Guangdong, China. Super pretty hematized quartz with these hematite flowers. Hematite is the blackish silver rosettes, and the hematization causes this orangish color in the quartz. There's no damage on this, really. I mean, I think there is like one crystal that got broke towards the back, but you really can't. It kind of like obscures pretty well if you're just looking at it. Your focus doesn't go there. It goes on this like column of a crystal right in the middle, straight up and down. And this piece is about 7 centimeters tall by about 7, maybe 8 tall and 8 wide, something of that nature. So like 3.5 inches. But really flashy like piece. It does have like some of the natural dust still in some of these cracks of the hematite rose. Can't really remove it, so just leave it and look at it from this angle. Don't go under it. But really cool piece. Like I said, I'm not like a rich person. I scored on like a lot of these, and I've just been collecting for a long time, and very particular. Try to be very particular about what I buy, and kind of tactical in what I spend my money on. So this one, let's see, let's just do this one. This one's a cassiterite from China. Nice cassiterite, not like a competition level quality cassiterite, but it's got a really cool formation, lustrous black metallic crystals on mica, and nothing extremely aesthetic about the matrix of this. I just liked the big complex crystal, the good quality crystal, and I wanted one of these, so I just grabbed that one. Some of the really large ones get a little too expensive for me. I don't think I've shown this yet. We have a calcite from Hubei, China. Really pretty piece. I like the matrix. I like the presentation. It's got like this weird sandy dirt-like matrix. It's very cool to me. And it's got like these hematized calcite crystals. I think I have a couple thumbnails, maybe one thumbnail of this same find. This has a really cool scalenihedral, I believe, is the term formation. And these are almost like fishtail twins. Almost. I think it's a twin double terminated calcite. I don't know if that's going to qualify as a fishtail because I don't know that it grew at the exact angle to be a fishtail, but still very cool. Here's the matrix. It's kind of like this. I don't know what you'd call it. It almost looks like coral. It's not coral though. But yeah, really cool calcite. This thing is about 4 inches wide because that base is 4 inches wide. And if I'm shaking, sorry about that. Yeah, so that one's cool. Oh, what's up next? Don't have a ton more. Knock out one of these smaller ones. Really awesome, huge crystals of vanadinite. This crystal is 1 inch wide, or thick, sorry, by like almost 2 inches wide on that main complex crystal. This littler crystal is huge too. And this thing's almost an inch. Now it looks like there might have been another crystal here that kind of popped off. They're kind of weird. They grow kind of like teeth, if that makes any sense. They connect like this. They grow right up against each other, but there's always some very fine inclusion, kind of, not inclusion, but external factor that coats the vanadinite crystals up against each other, and they can kind of like pop off each other, kind of like a teeth would like pop out of your socket when you're a kid. It's the only way I can really describe it. But they link together. But I mean, the display ability on that's really cool. It's a big, huge vanadinite from Imblad in Morocco. Gem red, super high luster, good transparency, very little yellowing or oranging. It's only really where this like crystal is kind of missing, which is very common to like have. A little bit of barely any oranging on the back. But that's why I like this piece so much, because it's huge. It's heavy and it's huge. See if I can get like the angles. But it's just got amazing luster and cool complex growth pattern. That's pretty cool to me. Yeah, so I kind of scored on that one, I think. I believe these are from a find where this dude dug literally like 30 years straight down. It's like a Moroccan miner, old timer, who just made a commitment to dig straight down because he found the best stuff the deeper he went. And that was basically his like life mission. And I think that came from that pocket. This one is not from that pocket, but it's still got really big crystals. This is almost an inch. Same area, Morocco. You can see this one's a little more orange. Cool though, like complex like plate of vanadinite, bunch of crystals on here. Good quality. Nice piece. So I like that piece. I've had that from a really long time, since back when I first started collecting. Let's go with this gypsum from Poland. Really amazing coloration on these gypsums. Perfect like sticks of of gypsum crystals, and whatever inclusion that is, can't remember the name of it. It's pretty rare. It's a rare inclusion, and it gives it this color, this Baja Blast blue color, like Mountain Dew Baja Blast. Reminds me of that color a lot. Really neat piece from Poland. Lucky to grab one of these. These are pretty hard to find now, and I would say that is about 6 centimeters across. The vanadinite that I just showed you is about 6 or 7 centimeters on the tall stand. Let's go with another green. This might be the last one. I don't know. So another green one. Almost a miniature, basically. Really nice fluorite though on quartz from North Cape, South Africa. Riemvasmak. I love saying that. I don't know why. Cool green octahedral shape. Really rich color on these. Only fluorites that I've ever seen like to be this rich in color. There is a newer find in Peru that has like a really rich green color like this, and you can see there's generations of it. So it went fluorite, and then big fluorite crystal, and then the quartz coated it. This quartz might have been like this crystal might have been exposed through removing a little bit of that quartz coating. It's definitely possible that that's what occurred, just to show the fluorite underneath. Might have been hidden there, or it could have just been like this naturally, and maybe they just chipped away a little bit of the quartz crust. But my guess would be chemically remove the quartz, but I don't know 100%. That is an accepted, allowed thing, though, typically in mineral collecting and even competition. So here is a fluorite, really pretty fluorite from Qinglong, China. This is also known as QR code fluorite. So you can see like that square kind of looks like a QR code square. Most of them don't have this much purple in the coating, I guess you'd say, the QR code look. Really rich purple. Like 360-degree displayability is really cool to look at the little cubes. Like all the edges are darker purple. My evaluations, you might see some stickers that say valued at on the back. They're outdated. I believe they're actually probably worth a little bit more nowadays. Really cool orange matrix just to contrast and pop on that purple. I'm from Arizona, so like we have the Phoenix Suns here, and the Phoenix Suns used to have like a purple and orange theme, and it reminds me of that a lot. And so that's one of the better fluorites I own, and probably one of the best out of the find, maybe. I mean, and this one's kind of small. It's only about 2.5 inches wide. Maybe there were some really big ones that were high quality like this. But as far as like what I've seen, I haven't seen them all here. This is like one of the better ones I've seen. I think we got maybe one, maybe two more. We got this stibnite. I don't know why I said stibnite, because I was staring at a stibnite. We have the stibnite, and this has some barite on it, some clear white barite mixed into the matrix. And so this is from China, Hunan province. Really metallic, cool look to the stibnites. I got this kind of earlier on when I was collecting small cabinets. And this one's really neat. It's probably about 3.5 inches tall, maybe 3 inch. End to end is probably like 3.5. That one's pretty neat. Am I done? Are we done? We might be done. I'll jump back to this one because I kind of remembered something. There is a chance this is Peruvian, this Huebnerite. I don't know for sure. The label didn't really come with it, but I mean, strong chance it's Peruvian or Romanian or Bulgarian or Russian. One of those. I think we're done. Let me know in the comments like what your favorite one was. I'm just gonna throw this back up here because it's kind of like the newest thing I got. Yeah, really cool to see like a little bit of purple and stuff. I got some more thumbnails in. I will probably be doing another video of my thumbnails, but probably not until after I display them at the Tucson show. I think I'm on the schedule to be able to display this year. And I gotta, you know, focus on that really, and get an idea of which thumbnails I'm going to use, thumbnail size minerals I'm going to use in the case. That's pretty much it. This is Kevin with Imagination Hobbies. I appreciate you guys for watching. I'm signing off. I don't think I forgot any. I could have forgot one, but you'll see more videos from me in the future, I'm sure. I gotta do another thumbnail video because I have a lot more thumbnails now, and yeah, I think you guys will like those. So subscribe. Make sure that you're out there doing hobbies and digging if you can, mining if you can. That'd be cool, safely and legally. And yeah, just stick with your hobbies and fight the power, y'all. I'll catch you guys later. Bye.